Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar and workshop series conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming CIMA Management Case Study examinations happening in May 2024. My name is Nick and I'm one of the lead tutors and evaluators for MCS at TCS. So let's look at the session outcomes. So first things first, I will be providing you with information pertinent to technicalities about your MCS exam. I know for a fact that most of the students who are attending this webinar are coming through some type of an exemption route. It could be via the FLP route or the Master's Gateway program. So focused on these students, I'm going to highlight the technicalities behind the MCS exam because this exam is quite different to an academic qualification, especially given the fact that CIMA is a professional qualification and the way in which your knowledge is tested is a bit different. So with this in mind, I'm focusing on highlighting the technicalities behind the exam in the first part of today's session. And in the second part, I will be taking you through a 7-week study plan. And if you stick to the study plan, you need not spend a lot of time for studies. And on top of that, you can easily pass your exam comfortably if you stick to our 7-week study plan. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritties, let me quickly tell you about the upcoming free MCS webinars and workshops which we have scheduled for you, focused on the exams happening in May 2024. So in the second webinar, which is happening next Wednesday, as you already know, the pre-seen document will be released next Wednesday. Usually it is released on a Friday, but since next Friday is the Good Friday, the pre-seen is released on Wednesday. And on that day itself, I will be conducting a pre-seen analysis at 6 p.m. UK time or 18 GMT. And in the third webinar, I will be teaching you answering and time management techniques, which are crucial to pass your exam, because at your real exam, if you run out of time, then chances of you passing is extremely low. So you need to have a plan when it comes to developing answers, because this is an extremely stressful examination. You need to keep practicing answering and time management techniques to get it right. If not, just because you learn answering and time management techniques, you cannot implement it on the exam day. Instead, when attempting each of your mock exams on a continuous basis, you need to keep managing keep practicing these techniques with the intention of championing these techniques and getting it right at your exam. And when developing answers, you need to structure it properly, and on top of that, you need to spend a certain amount of time to plan out your answer. You're not supposed to, right after reading through the scenario, you're not expected to type your fully fledged answer. Instead, you are supposed to spend some time for planning. So all these elements, which are extremely crucial for exam success, will be highlighted in the third webinar. And I won't just be teaching these techniques. I will also take you through the free mock which we are providing, which will be released on Wednesday itself. So after taking you through the answering and time management techniques, I'll show you how to implement these techniques using the mini mock which we'd be sharing with you. And in the fourth webinar, exam prep, I will be taking you through examiner's comments, because it's of utmost importance that you understand what's requested from you. And it's better to understand the psychology of each marker. So all these elements will be highlighted in the fourth webinar. And on top of that, I'll also mention what you need to do to develop a positive attitude when conducting your preparations, because as per the CIMA examiner, as per the exam blueprint, confident students end up passing the exam comfortably. So it's of utmost importance that you create a positive attitude when conducting your preparations. And in the workshops, in the first two workshops, I will be taking you through questions relating to E2, P2, and F2 related syllabus content. And I'll, take you through answer plans whilst explaining the logic behind each answer. I'll explain how each area is tested and what you need to do with regards to improving your theoretical knowledge as well as application skills when developing your answers. And on top of that, the workshops are open for Q&As as well, because by the time we start the workshops, according to our study plan, you should be done with 2 or 3 mock exams out of the 5 mock exams which we are developing. So, by that time, you definitely have questions, and all these questions will be answered within these workshops. And in the final workshop, which happens 2 or 3 days before your examination, I will be giving you last minute tips which will help you immensely, because as I mentioned earlier, you have to be extremely positive, and this positivity is going to help you immensely at your examination. So all these elements will be covered in the last workshop. So all in all, on a weekly basis until your exam, we are keeping in touch with you. So make sure to attend all these webinars live, because then you can get in touch with a tutor, raise your concerns, and get them answered then and there. And we have structured these set of webinars as well as workshops with the intention of ensuring that you gain something and you are poised for continuous improvement on a weekly basis. So make use of these free resources which we provide at TCS. Okay, let's get into the technicalities behind your MCS exam. So there are a set of students who are coming through the CIMA general route. So these individuals have already completed their OTQ exams. So because of that, they are extremely conversant with theoretical elements. And on top of that, since they are coming through the general route, they have done the operational case study or the OCS exam. So since they have completed the OCS exam, they are totally conversant with how CIMA case study exams occur. And chances of these students who are coming through the general route passing the MCS exam is extremely high, especially given the fact that they know about the structure of the exam. And on top of that, especially since they know the theoretical elements. And looking at the type of students coming through the Master's Gateway program as well as the Finance Leadership program. So those who are coming through Master's Gateway are, joining CIMA at the MCS level. So most students who are coming through Master's Gateway, they have done their Master's, programs, MSCs, MBAs, and whatnot. Although you have learned a lot about businesses, how businesses are run, the strategic decision-making processes adopted by businesses, financing within businesses, all these elements, although these elements are covered within your master's programs, you will find certain P2 and F2 elements which are not covered within these master's programs. Why is that the case? Because these are academic qualifications. So in academic qualifications, a high level of prominence is provided for theoretical concepts. However, in a practical sense, when you are trying to play the role of a finance manager, you need to know additional elements pertaining to management accountancy as well as financial accountancy. So you have to be conversant with your IFRSs and IASs, and on top of that, you have to be conversant with how group accounts work and whatnot. And the same could be said about the P2 elements as well, which has everything to do with decision making at the middle level, since you are playing the role of a finance manager within your chosen company. So these knowledge gaps can be seen within students who are coming through the FLP program as well, or finance leadership program as well. However, you need not worry. I said that those who are coming through the CIMA general route are totally fine with the MCS exam. So you should not worry if you're coming through an exemption route, because we have developed study resources, particularly which are focused on students who are coming through FLP and Master's Gateway. So if you utilize our study resources and stick to our study plan, you'd learn theory, you'd get rid of all knowledge gaps, you'd significantly improve your application skills. And if that is the case, you can easily pass your MCS exam. So even if you're coming through the exemption route, you need not work, harder than a student coming through the CIMA general route, because if you stick to our study plan and utilize our resources within a short period of time, you can significantly improve your theoretical knowledge and application skills. And looking at the exam, it is a PC-based examination. You can do it at home or you can do it at an exam center. I'd personally recommend you to do it at an exam center, because when you're, attempting the exam at home, if there is an internet droppage, especially, I've encountered this when, dealing with students who are coming from the African and Asian regions. All of a sudden, if there's an internet drop, then it results in, creating an unnecessary stress. So rather than being stressed, it's better to attempt your exam at an examination center, because then at the center you can utilize, they'd provide you with a piece of paper and a pen. So if you want to work something out or jot something down, you can do it. But when you're doing your exam at home, you can't do anything. You cannot use any type of stationery. You only have access to your laptop or your computer. So this is a PC-based exam. The total time allocation for the entire paper is 3 hours, and the paper is divided into 4 main tasks, and each task carries a time allocation of 45 minutes each. So the examiner is trying to replicate a real-life corporate environment when testing your knowledge. So you are playing the role of a finance manager. I'll explain what you are expected to do as a finance manager in a little while. But for now, just try to understand that you are supposed to play the role of a finance manager. And as a finance manager, all the questions which are thrown at you are designed in a way in which it's as if you are receiving an email from your senior finance manager or some other type of a senior manager within your chosen organization. So you are receiving an email. It's as if you walk into office, open up your laptop or your computer, log into your email, and you have received an email from your senior finance manager, and you are supposed to come up with your recommendations, evaluations, and suggestions based on what's mentioned within the email. So that's exactly what you'd do when you work at any given corporate organization. So that's the same way in which you are supposed to approach this exam. This is a highly practical examination. If you provide highly theoretical answers, your senior finance manager won't be satisfied, because at office, you are not expected to explain theoretical elements or theoretical concepts. Instead, you would have learned certain theoretical concepts. Using this knowledge, you are supposed to come up with better recommendations. So what's the difference between you and another student should be, when working at office, should be the fact that you have learned something new after following the MCS exam, and utilizing this knowledge, you'd come up with better recommendations. So if you replicate a same methodology at your examination, you'd pass with flying colors. Okay. And let's assume you are, you have developed your answer for task number 1. The 45 minutes are up. Once the time is up, you'd be directed to the second task of your paper. And once you are in the second task, you cannot go back to task number 1. So your time management is not about managing the 3 hours. It's about managing 4 45-minute slots. So you have to work on your answering and time management techniques for 45 minutes. Then once your first, slot is done, then again, you have to, focus on your answering and time management techniques for the second slot for 45 minutes. Then once it's done, move on to the third task and whatnot. So on a continuous basis, you need to keep managing your time and developing answer plans. So all these elements will be covered in the third webinar, as I'll be explaining as to what you're supposed to do when it comes to managing your time and developing answer plans. So you need to get your bearings with these technicalities. So that's why when attempting each of the 5 mock exams, I want you guys to keep practicing these techniques so that you can champion it at your real exam. And the pass mark is 80 out of 150. although the pass mark is 80, if you stick to our study plan, you can easily achieve more than 100 marks. That's the guarantee which we provide, because when developing our mock exams, we have made sure to cover the entire syllabus, so you won't have any knowledge gaps. You'd, after practicing the 5 mock exams, you'd be exposed to all syllabus areas, and you'd know how each theoretical element is tested at your examination. So you'd be fully prepared. So because of that, although the pass mark is 80, you can easily gain more than 100 marks at your real exam. You can only achieve it if you stick to our study plan. Okay, let's look at your role. You are supposed to play the role of a finance manager. And as a finance manager, you are, located at the very middle of the organization's hierarchy. So at the top of the organization, you get the strategic level decision makers. These are the board members. The board members are involved with long-term decision making. So they adopt something called an outside-in approach when it comes to decision making. What is an outside-in approach? Every time you arrive at decisions, the board members are supposed to think about how the external environment or how the main players within the industry are going to react to it. So what if we expand to another country? How are our customers going to react? How are the major suppliers going to react? How are the finance providers going to react? And how are the competitors within the new country going to react? So we are looking at the external stakeholders first as a board member within any given organization. So that's what happens within the strategic level. So these guys are involved with long-term decision making. And at the lowest level of the organization, you get the operational level. And at the operational level, you get or you find people who are involved with implementing the decisions taken by board members on a daily basis. So they are involved with short-term decision making or assisting decision makers. So their main priority is to implement the decisions which are arrived at by the individuals at the board level. And at the tactical level, you get middle level management. The main responsibility of the middle level management is to keep track of performance of operational level guys. Because as I mentioned earlier, those at the operational level are involved with implementing decisions. So when it comes to implementing decisions, you are supposed to keep track of these individuals to see whether they are doing their job properly or not. Because if the operational level guys are not sticking to the targets or sticking to the plans, however much decisions we come up with, if we are not implementing them, then we are wasting our resources, time, and money. Okay, so your role is to keep track of the performance of operational level guys, and on top of that, the individuals at the operational level won't actually understand the decisions which are taken by board level decision makers. So your role is focused on communicating these decisions in an understandable manner to the operational level individuals. So you have to play multiple roles. You are supposed to keep track of the performance of low-level employees. You are supposed to be involved with communicating the plans in an understandable manner. And on top of that, you are supposed to provide leadership on a continuous basis. So you have to be conversant with, finance-related decision making, because you are playing the role of a finance manager. You are located within the finance department. So you need to know your finance-related elements. And on top of that, additionally, you have to play an HR role as well, thereby providing leadership, focusing on communication, negotiating with, low-level employees, negotiating with top-level decision makers, then engaging yourself with change management. And on top of that, you are also supposed to be involved with medium-term decision making. So you have to be conversant with P2 related syllabus elements concerning investment appraisal and whatnot. Okay, so you are supposed to play multiple roles as a finance manager. You are not only dealing with finance, you are dealing with HR related elements as well as medium term decision making. So as a finance manager, a higher level or a high level of application and practical thinking is expected for MCS. So theories will be tested and practical decision making will also be tested. So if you're coming through the CIMA general route, you would have already done your OCS exam. In the OCS exam, theories were heavily tested and practical decision making was limited to suggesting KPIs. However, at this stage, since you are playing the role of a finance manager, theories are tested, and on top of that, practical decision making is tested as well, because as a manager you are involved with medium term decision making of your chosen company. So that's what your role is. Then let's look at your exam, or how your knowledge is tested via this case study examination. So information is provided about a fictitious company in advance via a pre-seen document. So this pre-seen document will be released on Wednesday, and it will consist of information about a company, what it was up to in the past. It will highlight about the internal dynamics, what happens within different departments of the chosen organization. And on top of that, it will include information about industry dynamics, because as a finance manager, when arriving at decisions, you need to know how your decisions will affect the industry, whether the industry dynamics will change in a positive or negative manner based on the decisions or recommendations which you provide. So you have to be conversant with the industry in which your company is operating. And on top of that, via the pre-seen document, the financial statements of your chosen company as well as its closest competitor will be provided, especially the statement of profit and loss, the statement of financial position, and the statement of changes in equity. So all in all, you need to be conversant with how your company is run at the moment, its past, as well as you need to be conversant with the industry dynamics and the financial performance of your company and its closest competitor. So that's what this pre-seen document is about. So you are working within this company, and all information about the company, the industry, and the financial statements will be provided via the pre-seen document. And in the exam, you are required to address issues or questions relating to managerial aspects of the company. So since you are located at the very middle of the organization, and since you are playing the role of a finance manager, you are involved with medium term decision making and evaluations concerning the medium term running of the company. So when addressing these issues or questions, so each question which is thrown at you will highlight some type of an opportunity the company is trying to exploit, or each question will highlight a certain threat the company is trying to mitigate or manage. So when developing your answers, the examiner is trying to understand whether you have an appropriate level of knowledge concerning E2, P2, and F2 syllabi. For instance, if there's a question about us opting for an investment, and two NPVs and IRRs for two different projects will be provided, and using your knowledge about investment appraisal, you are supposed to suggest the best investment we should go ahead with. So that's what you're supposed to do as a finance manager. So you are not expected to provide highly theoretical answers. You are not expected to explain theories. Instead, you are supposed to utilize your theoretical knowledge when developing your answers, with the intention of coming up with the most accurate type of suggestions and recommendations which will help the senior management team arrive at a decision. So the long-term decisions, as I mentioned, will be taken by board members or the senior management team of the company. Your role is to provide suggestions to them. And when providing suggestions in a real-life corporate environment, rather than shooting in the dark, you'd try to come up with the best type of an answer. If not, you might be kicked out of the company or you'd be demoted. So no one wants to face such a situation. So with that in mind, you try to come up with the best type of recommendations or solutions to the problems faced by the company. So if you have to come up with the best type of solutions or recommendations, you have to utilize your theoretical knowledge covered under E2, P2, and F2 syllabi. And on top of that, when providing recommendations, you have to always make sure that your recommendations are aligned with the internal and industry dynamics of your company, and the recommendations should make financial sense. For instance, if there is a question about an investment option, and in order to go ahead with the investment, if you are to choose between debt or equity, if you blindly say, okay, let's go for debt, and if the gearing ratio of the company is somewhere around 55%, and if you say that let's go for debt without mentioning about the gearing ratio and the risks pertaining to us having a high gearing ratio, you'd end up failing the examination. So you need to know what happens within the company. You need to know how your decisions are going to affect the industry dynamics, and or whether your decisions are aligned with the industry dynamics, and you need to make sure to come up with recommendations which makes financial sense. That's exactly why the financial statements of the company is provided as part of the pre-scene document. So all in all, in a nutshell, you have to be conversant with E2, P2, F2 syllabi. You need to learn theory, and just because you learn theory, if you provide highly theoretical answers, you won't pass. You need to really focus on improving your application skills, and you need to possess a good knowledge, level of knowledge about the company's internal dynamics, external dynamics, and as well as its financial standing. So you might think that this is too much. There's absolutely nothing to worry. Simply stick to our study plan. We have come up with study resources which will make your life easy when it comes to understanding the company, its industry, and financial performance, as well as we have developed a set of master classes which makes your life easy again with regards to learning theoretical elements and improving your application skills. So simply stick to the study plan. You'd pass with flying colors within 7 weeks. Okay, so the to-do list, what are you expected to do in the upcoming 7 weeks? First things first, you are supposed to read something called the annotated pre-scene. So as I mentioned earlier, information about the company will be presented via a pre-scene document. But what we have developed at TCS, we have come up with tutor annotations. So that's exactly what you can see in here. And rather than going through the pre-scene document on your own and trying to understand which information is actually relevant and which information is not too relevant, it's better to refer to the annotated pre-scene, because if you refer to these annotations, you can easily understand the most important elements which are covered within the pre-scene document. And on top of that, these annotations are a good summary which will help you better understand what's highlighted. And on top of that, the examiner will provide some hints about probable exam scenarios which can be tested at your examination. And these probable areas which are tested are highlighted within these tutor notations as well. And if certain syllabus areas are covered, for instance, you can see in here, the focus, E2 focus digital business model. So likewise, any syllabus areas which are covered based on the information provided in the pre-scene document are also highlighted as part of tutor notation. So that's exactly what you can see in here as well. So if you simply refer to the annotated pre-scene, you can easily understand what happens within the company, its industry, as well as what happens within the company in a financial sense. So you are supposed to read the annotated pre-scene, then watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. So the pre-scene, your pre-scene is divided into 4 main elements. The introduction gives you an indication about the past of the company. The industry analysis, as the name suggests, highlights the industry dynamics. Then company operations is about highlighting what happens within your chosen organization. And the 4th pre-scene analysis video is dedicated towards a financial analysis. So if you watch these 4 videos, you would gain an in-depth understanding about what happens within your chosen company, its industry, and what's stipulated within its financial statements. And once you have gained an understanding about these elements, you are supposed to start practicing the 5 exam standard and pre-scene specific mock exams. So as I mentioned earlier, when developing these 5 mock exams, we have made sure to cover the entire syllabus so that you are not taking a risk at the exam, or so that you are not testing your luck. although you have access to the 5 mock exams, if you attempt just 1 or 2, you cannot pass the exam, because by attempting 1 or 2 mock exams, you are not in a position to cover the entire syllabus. So you have to attempt all 5 mock exams under exam conditions, because when attempting each mock exam, it's better to keep practicing answering and time management techniques, so that you get accustomed to exam stress, as well as you get your bearings with the answering and time management techniques. So you are supposed to practice 5 exam standard mock exams. I've seen students referring to past exam variants and trying to pass the exam and failing miserably. Why is this the case? Yes, you can learn something from the past exam variants or past papers. However, what you need to understand is these past exam variants are based on different pre-seen documents. So if you are to really understand the logic behind each question and answer, you have to study the past pre-seen documents. And if not, you would really not understand why the logic behind each and every answer provided under each question. And on top of that, the syllabus areas which can be tested differ across the industries. So if you conduct your preparations based on a totally different industry, or an industry which is totally different to the pre-seen, or the industry which is stipulated within your pre-seen document, then you are wasting a lot of time. So rather than wasting time, it's better to focus on practicing exam standard and pre-seen specific mock exams. And you are supposed to attend the live webinars and workshops on a weekly basis. I explain what's covered within each and every webinar and workshop. And you are supposed to also refer to a set of slides, the industry analysis slides and the financial analysis slides. So let me quickly show you, what the industry analysis slides consist of. Mind you, these industry analysis slides are relevant for the previous case study, because your pre-seen is yet to be released. So our industry analysis slides contain 4 main elements. First things first, we are providing an overview into the industry, thereby defining what the industry is about, because it's of utmost importance that you really understand what your industry is about. If not, you are not ready to play the role of a finance manager. Then the second part is dedicated towards explaining industry trends, because based on these trends, scenarios will be thrown at you at your real examination. So it's of utmost importance that you understand these elements. Then the challenges faced by major players within the industry are highlighted. And at the very end, real world examples considering 2 real life companies are provided, so that you better understand what major players within the industry go through. So that's exactly what you can see throughout these set of slides. These can be found via the sample material, so go check it out. Then with regards to the financial analysis slides, the 4th pre-seen analysis video, where I said I'll be conducting a financial analysis, carried out, focused or utilizing this set of slides. So as I mentioned earlier, at the very end of your pre-seen document, your company's financial statements as well as its closest competitors' financial statements are provided. So rather than you trying to evaluate the financial performance of the company and its closest competitor, it's better to refer to our financial analysis slides, because then you can easily understand what happens within the company. We have evaluated each and every element, each and every area rather, and when providing our evaluations, we have kept things simple and concise, so that you can easily understand what's highlighted within these set of slides. The same could be said about the statement of financial position as well. And at the very end, a ratio analysis is conducted and each ratio is explained. And whilst explaining each ratio, we have kept it simple so that you can easily understand what's highlighted within the financial statements. And as a finance manager, you need to know these ratios. You need not memorize anything, because we will be providing a mind map, a set of TikTok videos, which covers the entire pre-seen document within 7 to 9 minutes. So if you continuously keep watching these 3 TikTok videos, you need not memorize anything. You'd actually remember all the most important points which are highlighted within the pre-seen document when attempting your exam. So all these free resources will be provided and shared with you in the future when the pre-seen is out. Then we'd also share with you a set of slides highlighting the top 10 issues which can be tested at your exam, and theory recap slides are also provided so that you can, if there is some type of a knowledge gap, you can easily brush up your knowledge utilizing these theory recaps. And we are also offering 20 pre-recorded master classes. These are answer explanations of mocks 1 to 5. So each mock exam consists of 4 main tasks. So 4 tasks into 5 mock exams comes up to 20 tasks in total. So focused on each task, we have developed a set of master classes. And what is covered under these master classes? Each master class, in each master class, we are explaining the logic behind each answer. Whilst explaining the logic, we are teaching you theory and application skills. So as I mentioned earlier, when developing the 5 mock exams, we have covered the entire syllabus. And if you watch these 20 master classes, it's as if you are learning the entire syllabus just by watching a set of videos, 20 videos in total. So by watching each masterclass, you learn theory, improve your application skills, and on top of that, you'd understand, the logic behind each and every answer. So if you are coming through an exemption route, it's essential that you watch these 20 master classes. Then you are supposed to refer to the answer plans of mocks 1 to 5. No other service provider is giving you this service and answer plan. So, you would have seen usually study providers give you access to the mock exams and the suggested answers. We have gone a step further. We are also providing the mock exams along with the suggested answers. On top of that, we are providing answer plans or the answer structures. So once you go through the answer structure, you can easily understand the logic behind each answer, how each answer is structured, how theoretical elements had been brought in, and what you need to do with regards to improving your application skills. And once you have attempted a mock exam and received tutor feedback, what you are supposed to do is simply try to redevelop answer plans rather than allocating 3 hours and trying to reattempt a mock exam blindly. You are supposed to solely focus on redeveloping answer plans or getting your answer structures right. So once you had come up with your fresh answer plan, you are supposed to compare it to the answer plans which we have provided and further understand what your shortcomings are. So these are good study summaries which are developed covering each suggested answer of all 5 mock exams. So if you go through this set of answer plans, you can easily understand the logic behind each answer, easily understand how theory had been applied, and on top of that, you'd significantly improve the quality of your answers, because if you get your answer structures right or answer plans right, then you would come up with high quality answers at your real examination. So if you are in a position to replicate our answer plans, then you can easily gain more than 100 marks. And we are also providing personalized tutor feedback for mocks 3, 4, and 5. So let me quickly show you the type of feedback which we provide. So as you can see, in-depth evaluations have been provided, thereby highlighting the shortcomings of the student. And at the very end, so throughout the answer script, you can see that feedback had been provided. And at the very end, mark allocations are provided on a subtask by subtask basis. And we have gone a step further and highlighted a success rate as well. The success rate, the yellow highlighted areas indicate the subtasks in which the performance was not up to the expected quality. So after receiving tutor feedback, as I mentioned earlier, you are expected to redevelop answer plans solely focused on the subtasks in which your performance was not up to standard. So that's the best way to improve the quality of your answers or improve your answer structures. So after receiving tutor feedback, rather than trying to allocate 3 hours and reattempt the mock exam from the top to the bottom again, you should solely focus on redeveloping answer plans, focused on areas or subtasks in which your performance was not up to the expected level of quality. So that's the best way to improve. So that's the type of feedback which we provide, tutor feedback which we provide at TCS. So this is the extended to-do list. You might think that this is too much. However, once I take you through the 7-week study plan, you'd understand that you can, cover all these elements by allocating just 7 hours of study time per week. So if you allocate 7 hours of study time per week, in the upcoming 7 weeks, you can cover all these elements. Okay. All right. So important dates which you need to remember if you're, planning to sit for your MCS exam in May, you have to book your exam before the 30th of April. So many students forget this date. So if you're, focused on booking your exam for May, you have to do it before the 30th of April, and we'll keep you guys reminded via the WhatsApp group as well. And the exam dates are from the 15th to the 17th of May 2024. All right. So having said that, before we move on to the 7-week study plan, let me quickly tell you what we offer at TCS. So we are on the MCS page, as you can see. I want you guys to go check the free content after the pre-scene is released. There's no free content, only the recorded version of this webinar will appear under free content. But once the pre-scene is released, you'd gain access to a mini mock, its suggested answer, and the answer plan via the free content. And on top of that, all the recorded versions of the webinars and workshops which you're conducting will be accessible via the free content. So go check them out. If you still do not have a user account, create a user account, then you'd directly gain access to the free content. And if you're interested in investing on our paid content, check the sample material, all different, study resources, the samples of all different study resources are provided. So go check them out before investing on our study packages. And if you are yet to join our MCS WhatsApp discussion forum, click on this button and join it. We'll keep you guys informed about weekly webinars and workshops. We'll share free study resources such as blog posts, TikTok, videos and whatnot, and study summaries and whatnot. And on top of that, if you have any questions or concerns, you can raise them and get them answered instantaneously via the MCS WhatsApp group. And talking about what we offer 2 main packages, the value pack and the premium package. The value pack is designed for students who are coming through the CIMA general route. So as I mentioned earlier, those who are coming through the general route, they have done their OTQ exam. So because of that, you need not learn theory since you have already learned theory. So focused on these students, we have developed the value pack. Under the value pack, you would get access to the recordings of all webinars and workshops, the 5 mock exams with suggested answers covering the entire syllabus, the pre-scene analysis videos, the annotated pre-scene, industry and financial analysis slides, top 10 likely issues, case study familiarization kit, access to a tutor managed live chat, as well as OTQ revision cards. Since you already know theory, after attempting a certain mock exam, if you feel that you did not fare too well, then simply refer to the revision cards and brush up your knowledge concerning the relevant syllabus area. So the value pack is priced at £199. And talking about the premium package is designed for students who are coming through exemption routes such as FLP and Gateway, and for those who had failed the MCS exam previously. So both these set of students who are coming through the exemption route as well as those who had failed, the major shortcoming is with regards to theoretical knowledge and application skills. So with the intention of ensuring that you learn all theoretical elements and significantly improve your application skills, we have developed the premium package. So the premium package comes with all study material which are covered under the value pack. On top of that, you would have access to an online mock exam platform which is developed akin to the Pearson VUE system, which you'd use at your real examination. So when attempting each of the 5 mock exams, you can do it under exam conditions. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be explaining an answering and time management technique in the upcoming, in the third webinar. So after learning answering and time management techniques, you are supposed to start attempting mock exams. When attempting each mock, in order to champion these techniques, you need to keep practicing them. So the best way to practice answering and time management techniques is by attempting each mock exam under exam conditions via our mock exam platform. And on top of that, most students, right after the exam, when they talk to us, what they say is they faced some type of an issue because of exam stress. So most students encounter something called brain freeze when they are panicking at the exam. So for instance, let's assume you are attempting task number 1. There are 3 subtasks. Out of the 3 subtasks, the second subtask, carries a question which is supposed to confuse you. So the examiner does it intentionally with the intention of making sure that you are thrown off your exam strategy, because if you panic, you are not ready to play the role of a finance manager. So if you panic when providing the answer for the second subtask, if you panic, then panic leads to an adrenaline rush, and this adrenaline rush leads to a situation where you experience brain freeze. Even if you try to come up with an answer, you cannot think of a proper answer. When you are trying to read the scenario, nothing goes into your head. So likewise, all these inefficiencies will be you'll be exposed to all these inefficiencies if you are not accustomed to exam stress. So the best way to get used to exam stress is to attempt each mock exam under exam conditions via our mock exam platform. So you can get everything wrong when practicing the mock exams and get your exam techniques right at your real exam. So this is extremely beneficial, especially if you failed previously, and especially if you're coming through an exemption route. And you are also receiving one-on-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5. The first 2 mocks are there to get your bearings with the answering and time management technique, because it takes a bit of time for you to perfect it. And once you have gotten yourself accustomed with the answering and time management techniques, from mock 3 onwards, you are supposed to be serious, and we are providing tutor feedback. And you'd also gain access to the answer plans of all 5 mock exams. You saw what our answer plans look like, and you'd also gain access to the 20 master classes, and you are expected to learn theory and improve your application skills by simply watching these set of master classes. And the premium package comes with a pass guarantee as well. So if you invest on the premium package and end up failing, you'd gain access to the premium package in your subsequent sitting free of charge. However, in order to claim the pass guarantee, you have to fulfill these requirements. First things first, you have to complete all 5 mock exams. Without covering all 5 mock exams, we cannot guarantee your pass, because if you are to pass, you have to be conversant with all syllabus areas, and you have to know how each syllabus area is tested at your examination. So without completing or attempting all 5 mock exams, you are not in a position to claim the pass guarantee. And when developing your answers should be original. There's absolutely no point if you cheat yourself, if you try to copy and paste answers from the suggested answers, or if you refer to the answer plans before attempting each mock exam, then you are not in a position to really understand what your shortcomings are. Instead, when attempting each mock exam, try to give your best shot, especially when attempting mocks 3, 4, and 5, because you are receiving tutor feedback. So if you try to give your best shot, then you are in a position to really understand what your shortcomings are. And once you understand your shortcomings, you can work towards overcoming these shortcomings. And you are supposed to meet the performance criteria when attempting mocks 3, 4, and 5 as well, which is 40% or higher. You have to score 40% or higher for mocks 3, 4, and 5. Why have we come up with this performance criteria? With the intention of ensuring that you are serious when attempting the last 3 mock exams, especially due to the fact that you are receiving tutor feedback. So do not waste your time and money by doing a shoddy job when attempting the last 3 mock exams. Instead, try to give your best shot, thinking that you are actually attempting your real examination. Then we are in a position to understand your shortcomings, and if you understand your shortcomings, you can work towards overcoming them. And once you have completed all these three tasks, there's absolutely no way that you'd fail your exam. So that's why we are providing a pass guarantee for the premium package. The premium package is priced at £749, which can be paid in two installments of £374 each. However, if you opt to pay in full, you can save £100. Therefore, the price will be £649. So you'd have access to all these products until the 31st of August 2024. So if you are planning to attempt your exam in August, you can invest right now and start preparations way ahead, so that you can do it slowly and get everything done which was highlighted within the to-do list. All right. So having said that, let's move on to the 7-week study plan. Before we proceed towards the study plan, let me quickly ask you whether you have any questions. You can, simply switch on your mic and talk, or drop us a message on the chat section. I'm ready to answer your queries. Any questions, folks? All right, seems like there aren't any questions. So because of that, I'm moving on to explaining the study plan, which can be accessed via the website itself. So it makes your life easy to keep track of your performance. And, on top of that, we have come up with an area where you can check your progress as well. Since, the material for the MCS exam is yet to be uploaded, I'm simply gonna take you through the OCS premium package. So this is what the type of progress we'd help you keep track of. So each resource is mentioned, and those you have checked out already are indicated in a green colored tick, and the study resources which are yet to check out are indicated in red, and each video resource which you have access to, there is a performance bar which indicates whether you have watched each element properly or not. And as a tutor, I have access to your performance tracker as well. So I'll, on a weekly basis, I'll keep track of your performance. And if your performance is not up to standard, I'll make sure to keep you guys informed about all these elements. So that's exactly what you can see. And based on how you proceed with your studies, by looking at the total progress bar, you can understand where you stand as a student on a weekly basis. So make use of these resources so that it makes your life easy when conducting your preparations. So having said that, let's go to the weekly study plan. So we are in the pre-course week, and the amount of study time which you should allocate is just 8 hours. So you are supposed to attend the first webinar, which you have done so far. So congratulations on that. And you are supposed to, within this week, you are supposed to refer to the OTQ revision cards, E2, F2, and P2, which the indication of getting your bearings with what's tested, or which theoretical elements are tested at your exam. And you are supposed to refer to the MCS familiarization kit so that you get your bearings with the technicalities behind the MCS exam. And in the first week, which will commence after the pre-scene release, which is happening next Wednesday, you are supposed to attend the second webinar, where I'll be conducting an industry analysis, as well as highlighting certain elements, important elements, covering the internal dynamics of your chosen company, thereby conducting a pre-scene analysis. It's happening on Wednesday, the 27th of March at 6 p.m. UK time. Then you are supposed to watch the pre-scene analysis videos with the intention of really understanding what's highlighted within the pre-scene document. Then you are supposed to refer to the annotated pre-scene on your own, which will help you further understand your further improve your understanding about the pre-scene document. Then you are supposed to refer to the financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 10 issue slides. So all in all, in week number 1, you are expected to dedicate your first week towards understanding the pre-seen document. So after you have understood the pre-seen document, you have to start attempting mock exams. So from week 2 onwards, you are supposed to attempt mock exams. So the second week is dedicated towards mock number 1. Before you attempt mock number 1, it's of utmost importance that you get your bearings with your answering and time management techniques. So with that in mind, you are supposed to attend the third webinar, answering technique. And once you are conversant with answering and time management techniques, you are supposed to attempt mock number 1 via the exam platform. So if you invest on the premium package, you can do it, attempt mock number 1 via the exam platform itself. If not, if you are invested on the value pack, that's totally fine. Just attempt your mock exam under exam conditions, type on a Word document or some other type of platform so that you significantly improve your answering and time management techniques. So after you are done with attempting mock number 1, you are supposed to watch the 4 master classes which are developed focused on mock number 1. The intention should be to learn the logic behind each answer, learn theory, as well as significantly improve your application skills. And once you're done with watching the master classes, you are supposed to refer to the answer plans pertaining to mock number 1, which will further help you improve the quality of your answers. Then something similar should be done in the third week as well. The third week is dedicated towards mock number 2. You are supposed to attend the 4th webinar, then attempt mock number 2, watch the 4 master classes and refer to the answer plans. And from week number 4 onwards, you would receive tutor feedback. So you are supposed to attend the Q&A with Jared. Jared is our co-tutor, who is the expert when it comes to MCS exams, particularly F2 and P2 syllabi. So the Q&A will be carried out by Jared. So by this time, since you're done with 2 mock exams, you'd encounter certain shortcomings, you'd experience exam stress, you'd experience brain freeze. So all these shortcomings can be raised within the Q&A session, and Jared will be ready to provide you with the necessary recommendations. And then you are supposed to attempt mock number 3, watch the master classes, and as I mentioned earlier, from mock 3 onwards, you'd receive personalized tutor feedback. So after watching the 4 master classes, you are supposed to refer to tutor feedback to understand your shortcomings. And once you have understood your shortcomings, focused on the subtasks which are highlighted in yellow, you are supposed to redevelop your answer plans and compare it with the answer plans which were provided to further improve the quality of your answer plans. Then in week number 5, a similar approach needs to be adhered to. The 5th week is dedicated towards mock number 4, and the 6th week is dedicated towards mock number 5. And in the 7th week, you are simply supposed to refer to the answer plans of all 5 mock exams, reread the annotated pre-seen, and attend the final Q&A with Jared. So when 90% of the other students are scrambling for time a week before the exam, when almost all the students out there are trying to attempt mock exams in the last week, you are actually relaxing. So this is going to be extremely beneficial for you, because when you are relaxing, you are well poised to do your job properly as a finance manager. So let's assume you were studying for CIMA. So let's simply assume that you are actually playing the role of a finance manager of your real life company. So on Sunday, so before walking into office on a Monday, on Sunday, if you are partying till night or late night, or on Sunday, if you are involved with MCS preparations or some type of an educational program, so because of that, if you are involved with studies, then you cannot function properly as a finance manager on Monday, because you have not slept well, you have not rested during the weekend. So a similar scenario, you'd face a similar scenario at your real exam if you are not relaxed a week before the examination. So this is of utmost importance that you relax a week before the exam. You can only relax if you get the job done by week number 6 by adhering to our study plan. So as you can see, you need not do too much. Your real job is to allocate 3 hours of your time on a weekly basis and attempt a mock exam per week. Everything else is handled by us. So for instance, let's assume you are in week number 4. And as I mentioned earlier, week number 4 is all about attempting mock number 3. So let's assume you attempt mock number 3 on a Tuesday. By Wednesday, you are expected to watch, not by Wednesday, on Wednesday, you are expected to watch the 4 master classes. By Thursday, you'd receive tutor feedback because we provide tutor feedback within 48 hours. And then on Friday, you are simply supposed to redevelop the answer plans focused on the subtasks in which your performance was not up to standard. And towards the weekend, it's just a matter of attending a workshop or a webinar, and you are expected to relax towards the weekend rather than being engrossed with studies. So this is the smartest approach to adhere to get everything done within a short time span of 7 weeks. So on Tuesday, you attempt the mock. Wednesday, watch the master classes. By Thursday, you'd know where you stand as a student. And on Friday, simply redevelop the answer plans and party during the weekend. Go to office on Monday, start mock number 4 on a Tuesday again. By Wednesday, watch the master classes. By Thursday, you'd receive tutor feedback, and on Friday, redevelop answer plans. So it's simple. Your study is actually span across just 4 days a week, and you need not spend a lot of time. The only responsibility is to allocate 3 hours of your time and attempt a mock exam per week. Everything else is handled by us. So although I'm asking you guys to allocate 7 hours of study time, actually speaking, you are only expected to allocate 3 hours for serious work. The remaining 4 hours is about watching a set of master classes and simply redeveloping answer plans. And if you keep on working in this process and handling each mock exam on a weekly basis, you'd have nothing to do in week number 7. So it's only about refreshing your memory and knowledge about the theoretical components, how it's applied when developing answers, how to develop answer structures or answer plans. So you'd be going through these elements. You are not expected to attempt any mock exams. Instead, you'd be relaxing, and you are supposed to stop preparations a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well. You might think that I'm stupid to say this, but since you are playing the role of a finance manager, it's better to be rested. So if your exam is on the 15th of May, you have to stop all your preparations by the 13th of May, relax on the 14th, and walk into the exam on the 15th with an open mind. I do not want you guys to refer to any study material, any mock exams, any answer plans, watch any master classes on the day of the exam, especially because it leads to tunnel vision. So let's assume right before the exam, you went through the answer plan, which is about investment appraisal. Then you'd keep thinking about investment appraisal and how to, come up with a similar answer. So because of that, you'd see every question in the angle of investment appraisal, which is wrong. So instead of, screwing up your chances of passing, it's better to be open-minded, because as a finance manager, you will never know what type of issues the company is facing at the moment. And you'd never know what type of recommendations you are supposed to provide. So because when providing your recommendations, you are supposed to consider what's highlighted within each scenario. So be open-minded. If so, you'd do your job properly. And if you do your job properly, you'd end up passing the exam extremely comfortably. So that's exactly why our students, easily pass the MCS exam. Our pass rate for November 2023 was 90%. And as you can see, this student came through the FLP route and, attempted the MCS exam with our guidance, stuck to our study plan. I won't say, this individual stuck to the study plan 100%, because she started work only during the last month or only during the last 4 weeks, because she was busy with work within the first 3 weeks. However, although she worked only for 4 weeks, she got all the necessary mock attempts done. She got timely feedback and she ended up scoring 114 marks. So your pass mark is 80. I said that if you stick to our study plan, you can easily gain 100 marks. This student ended up scoring 114. So on a continuous basis, we are seeing this trend. So simply stick to our study plan and attempt a mock exam per week. Leave the rest to us. That's the guarantee which we provide at TCS. So having said that, let's open the floor for a Q&A session. Any questions, folks? I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, so thank you very much, folks, for those questions. I hope I was able to enlighten you guys about the MCS exam. So if you want to contact us, you can do it via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com. Simply, under each page, you'd gain access to a get in touch area, or you can simply click on the contact button. Then you'd be directed to the get in touch area. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can direct it to us via the website, or you can drop us an email via info@study@tcs.com or WhatsApp us on our WhatsApp number, again, which can be found via our website. And I invite you guys to follow us on our social media handles, especially YouTube and TikTok, because the recorded versions of these sessions are uploaded onto our YouTube channel. And on top of that, via TikTok on a weekly basis, we will share different type of study resources which are kept concise so that you can easily gain an understanding about what you are expected to do. The most important will be the pre-seen mind map, which will be released from Wednesday. So if you keep watching these 3 TikTok videos, you need not do anything else to memorize what's highlighted within the pre-seen document. So please make use of these free resources which we provide, and check out our blog posts as well. I will share these blog posts via the WhatsApp group. On top of that, simply click on the blog button within the website and check out the blog posts developed concerning your MCS exam. Since the pre-seen is not yet out, you won't find a blog post, but from Wednesday onwards, you would have access to different blog posts concerning what's happening within your chosen company. So these the blog post which we have developed for the OCS exam. Okay. So having said that, concluding thoughts are to approach MCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass. Having said that, it brings us to the end of today's webinar. I hope you guys gained something out of this. So thank you very much for joining. And I hope you'd keep attending the weekly webinars and workshops which we are conducting, which will be immensely beneficial for you, especially with regards to keeping track of your performance on a weekly basis. And whenever you face some type of an issue, you can get in touch with a tutor and get them sorted ASAP. And on top of that, if you face any questions or concerns, please drop us a message via the WhatsApp group. We are always ready to help you guys out. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.